How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, I want to talk about how big of a year 2020 is going to be for Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, as I'm sure most of you are already aware, we are getting BB-8 and BB-9E in January, and with that, the sequel era is coming to Capital Supremacy, so that's pretty cool. So right off the bat, we're starting off the year pretty strong in terms of content, but that's just January. Over the past 2 years, they've continually added content and stuff, and they did a complete 180 in terms of the communication, the amount of content they added, and just overall the quality of life improvements of this game since launch has just been through the roof. And now that the new Celebration Edition has come out, and the Rise of Skywalker movie hype, and Christmas sales, this game is getting another chance at life. There are tons of new players. I've seen this as high as second place on the Xbox store for the most sold. At one point, it even beat out Grand Theft Auto, which is pretty impressive considering Grand Theft Auto is always up there at the top. So this just goes to show how many people are actually going out and buying Battlefront 2 again, or giving it a second chance, which is great news. If we got all this content before and the numbers were pretty low, imagine how much more content we're going to get now that there's all these new players. And you have to look at it this way. All these new players that have the Celebration Edition have every single skin unlocked in the game up to this point. So they currently don't have anything to spend their credits on. They're currently just playing the game, grinding, and they're getting tons of credits, and they're just sitting on them because they already have all the skins, so there's nothing to buy. So that right there is a good indicator that they're obviously going to have more content. Otherwise, these players wouldn't have anything to do with their credits. It would be completely pointless. Now, we already saw a while back that Ben hinted that they were going to add new villain skins. Back when he addressed the old versions of skins for the heroes, like old Luke, Han, and Leia, he said that the dark side is due for a few. I mean, and that right there should tell you that, hey, there's probably going to be some big things coming. I mean, Boba Fett, Darth Vader, Bosk, Palpatine. There's a bunch of these heroes that only have their default skin. And with all these new players and veteran players with so many credits getting saved up, they need to do something to get everybody to spend their credits. They need to get people back to the point where they have close to 0 credits, so they might consider purchasing some crystals to make EA just a little bit more money. Plus, they could always add more infantry skins, they could add more reinforcement skins. Like, there's a bunch of options in terms of skins that they could add to this game still. And that's just speaking about skins. There's still tons of stuff that they could do in terms of like game modes and stuff. They've added 2 eras to co-op and Capital Supremacy. And there's no way that they're going to leave out the original trilogy. They're not going to do that. So many people keep requesting it. It's the most recognizable trilogy in all of Star Wars. Like, everybody knows Darth Vader, Luke, Han, Leia. Like, all these heroes are kind of getting left behind when it comes to Capital Supremacy. So, and they even have the space on the main menu for slots for the original trilogy. Like when you go to co-op and you go to select the era, there's obviously enough space for the original trilogy era. So I think it's a pretty safe bet. At some point during the year, either during the summer or maybe next fall, we're more than likely going to get the original trilogy. The question just comes down to when. And then there's a ton of different new maps that they could bring to the original trilogy for Capital Supremacy. They could either convert old ones like Hoth or Endor, or they could bring back some for 2015, like the much requested Scarif. A lot of people want Scarif to be brought back. Scarif is already in the files for the campaign, so I don't think it would be too out of question for them to bring back Scarif. Plus, I think Scarif would be the ultimate Capital Supremacy map. Like, the one in 2015 was designed pretty perfectly for Capital Supremacy. I think it would do really well if they had command posts just scattered throughout the beach. And then they could always add more reinforcements, since they added reinforcements to the sequel trilogy with the Sith Trooper and the Jet Trooper and the Gunner and the Spy. They could do something similar for the original trilogy. Like, right now we just have the Death Troopers and the Wookiees. I would imagine there would probably be some sort of Gunner and Spy. They could just port them over, which would probably make a lot of people upset. But I mean, let's be real here. The Rebels and the Resistance are pretty similar to one another. There's not much difference between the two. So they'd have to make new Resistance reinforcements. And then for the Empire, I mean, there's tons of options. My best bet would be if they added Scarif, for example, they could add the security droids, just like K2SO. Those could be reinforcements. And then they could add some sort of other variation, like a Honor Guard, or maybe a different type of Death Trooper that has a different loadout. There's just a number of different options that they could go with. And that's not all. I mean, they could always add more heroes to the game. I mean, we didn't think that we were going to get any more after the last batch with Obi-Wan, Dooku, Grievous, and Anakin, and now we're getting BB-8 and BB-9E. Nobody expected those 2 droids. No one would have guessed that we were going to get 2 droids as heroes, and if those 2 are considered heroes, then they could add anybody. A lot of people have been asking for Ahsoka and Ventress for like forever when it comes to this game. And the Clone Wars Season 7 comes out in February. I think maybe the end of February, going into March, would be like the perfect time to release one of those extra heroes. Maybe they're already working on them. Who knows? And then there's tons of stuff they could add based off of Fallen Order. They could add Purge Troopers. Those are technically canon now. They could have Purge Troopers for the Empire as reinforcements. And then they could add stuff from The Mandalorian if they wanted to. Like, there are so many more options now for every single trilogy when it comes to content that they could add to this game. Plus, with all these new players coming to the game, DICE could potentially bring on more developers. Maybe bring some people over from the Battlefield team to help work on stuff for Battlefront. If this game is getting more and more popular, then there's always the possibility that they might give it more attention. They see that people are willing to come out and play the game. The numbers are high. More and more people are interested. And if they're going to continue to support this over the next couple years, then fingers crossed that we do see some more developers. Maybe we get some more quality of life changes. We get some more bug fixes. They could still add tons of stuff to co-op and instant action. Instant action is kind of bare bones right now. You can only choose the Clone Wars era, and there's only so many options that you can tweak. So I think at some point it's kind of obvious that we're going to get some instant action changes. So there's a bunch of stuff that they could do this year. And seeing it at the top of all the PlayStation stores, the Xbox stores and stuff, seeing that all these people are going out and giving this another chance, I think brings new hope to the game. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Do you think we're going to get tons of new content this year? Do you think that DICE will actually transfer some developers from Battlefield over to Battlefront to sort of make up the difference since there's so many more players now? And yeah, let me know your guys' overall thoughts. Hit that subscribe button if you are new here. Be sure to check out another video. Hit that thumb up button. And that's going to do it for me, guys. And I will talk to you all next time.
Will you join me? Accept your fate. I grew impatient.